I now reject your vote. You see, I want votes of informed people. So if you are not one of them, anyway, I did mention that I would consult.
Okay.
I have consulted. I have actually been instructed to proceed for nomination on the nomination day. We shall give you a program. You know, when you are in a political party, you do not give a manifesto because there is a party manifesto. Now that I'm in transition, I will still consult on the manifesto. There are pledges which are generic in nature. There are those that are standard, some of which you have mentioned when you are reading, summarizing the manifestos of the parties, even those that I believe the authors do not believe in. I don't know how on earth Museveni can tell us about human rights, respect for rule of law, human rights and good governance in this country, but we shall interrogate that. Have I answered your question, sir?
So you will be coming as an independent?
Well, we shall decide that. Yes, for today I have been instructed to run as an independent by the voters. The consultations will go on. We shall start sub-county conventions next week. The options are still numerous, and we will look into all the different options.
Okay.
But for now, the standing instruction from the people that I met today, drawn from across the constituency, yes, were to run as an independent.
Okay, interesting.
It's about Busoga giving or lighting the country for these many years. The expectation was that successive leaders or leaderships would make use of that electricity, create industries, give us jobs. Milton Obote's government, with all its troubles, Idi Amin's government, with all its troubles, created those jobs for us. So many jobs. By promoting agriculture, marketing agricultural products. There was a produce marketing board, coffee marketing board, lint marketing board, having recognized that the country is largely, predominantly dependent on agriculture. I hear General Museveni today talking about value addition, value addition. You see, our forefathers knew about value addition for coffee in Bugolobi. They had their cooperatives which would collect the coffee from the farmers, sell it to Bugolobi, to Coffee Marketing Board, at a fee, take it to Mombasa, take it to London, and so on and so forth. One day in the 9th Parliament, as part of the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, I have said this before, we went there to supervise the operations of Uganda Property Holdings. We found people dismantling what our forefathers constructed in the 70s. And when we asked the arrangement under which those people were dismantling and call it reorganizing the place, they told us those people are going to sign an agreement in 2 days' time. They are on ground. They are dismantling what we spent money on. And they would sign an agreement or a memorandum of understanding with the government of Uganda 2 days from the date we were supervising them, or they were already dismantling. Now, that's how we have modernized agriculture. That's how we have secured the future, because previously they told us they were securing the future. Now that the future has already been secured with the humongous amounts we spend on UP and USE of 10,000 per student per year, their gains to be protected. If that is the collective gain to be protected, the gain of paying 10,000 per student. But when there is a school in this country, in Kanyareru, where they spend 750 per term, 50,000 per term, then there are gains to be protected. But there are also visible gains to be protected. I think we also need to be fair to this government. For example, a large bulk of these men and women came with nothing with their tattered clothes. I think Dr. Besigye at one point said, let's go back and reevaluate ourselves. We know what we came with or what we did not come with. I read a book by the late Honorable John Kazora, Betrayed by My Leader. He gave us a story of those people who would go to the bush. When they went to the bush, they found their commanders there did not have shoes. So the commanders took their shoes. And it was a crime for you to ask for your shoes. Why? Because your commander needs the shoes. And now for you are here demanding for your shoes. So you would be punished for that. So when they came back, when they came out of the bush, they did not have shoes. They shared amongst themselves the houses we had constructed as a country for senior civil servants, government officers, ministers, and so on and so forth. They shared them. In other words, it was a loot. Whoever ran to Kololo and entered the house first, it would become his. Eventually, as poverty started biting, they sold them. The other thing was to sell those industries and factories at peanuts, nominal fees. I remember, I was a young man, but I remember a story of dairy corporation.
1,000 shillings.
For 1,000 Uganda shillings.
Yes.
In other words, there are no processes. You get into your wallet, you get 5,000, pay, and ask for a receipt. I don't know how much that receipt would cost us to print, and then ask for your change of 4,000 shillings. Today, I don't know how much Dairy Corporation or the former Dairy Corporation is minting. Go to Coffee Marketing Board. It's a bush. The former produce, not produce marketing, foods and beverages. Here, next to Constitutional Square. It is now Mabilis Plaza, I think. Mabilis Complex, that building, and so on and so forth. Those are the gains. The people who came with nothing have accumulated everything. The country that they found with everything has been reduced to nothing. My brother, the Honorable Matia Kasaija, told us that actually the economy is, you know, the economy is, I don't know whether it has not taken off. It is at high altitude. It is already up there in the sky. The last time we appeared in Parliament, we were actually recalled from recess. And do you know the reason? Was to come back and approve 2 loans. Loan after another. Our forefathers foresaw or envisioned a country where Ugandans would be free, where Ugandans would enjoy freedoms, rule of law, constitutionalism. You have a president who signs a constitution today, 10th October 1995. In a few moments later, I think that's what your generation say, a few moments later, he tells you this is a piece of paper. It means nothing. You can have people who were charged in the defunct court-martial. The Supreme Court declares on 30th January, was 31st? January. 31st January 2025. Transfer them to civilian courts. Today is October They are in prison with no valid warrant of a recognized court, and the people are proudly saying there is rule of law. And when you talk about the criminality of the state, a Makerere professor of history jumps up in arms. In other words, a person with a PhD in history, without a sense of history of where we have come from. So they have personal gains to protect. I don't think they have our gains to protect.